Hey guys, I'm Kimla Simone, and this is Own Your Balance. Now, I've thought about what balance means to me, and it is that thing that brings calm to you, the thing that enhances you. And over the years, being a PK kid, PK, a pastor's child, I have come to realize that there are different things that balances different people. And so I've admired some things about some friends of mine and people that I know. We're going to have conversations about finding that balance and owning it. Something that I admire about you. And I'm like, that balances your life. Does it bring joy to your life? Does it enhances who you are? Does it bring calm to you? And so along this way, we will have discussions with them as well as I'll just have discussion talking to you, talk about things that I see or I understand what balance is. And so along this journey, we will learn from each other. And so that our lives can be more enhanced and we can become better people, knowing what balances us. And as we go along this way, I'll learn from you, you learn from me, and we will learn how to balance our life, how we can find it, and how we can enhance it. Hey guys, Kimla Simone here, and this is Own Your Balance. So today we're going to be talking to a friend of mine. We're going to be talking about friendships and how friendships balances your life. Who is a friend? Someone will ask, and I say a friend is that person that you can count on. It's that person that you've been through things with. You have gotten to know them. They've gotten to know the intricate details of your life. They knows your ups and your downs. You may have met them from childhood. You may have met them in high school, college, the job, at church. And so out of those things, you've met some people along the way and you've added to their lives and they've added to your life. Friends are those people that you can cry with through the hard times. They're the ones that you can laugh with through the happy times. They're the ones that is there. They become family to you. They're like more than friends. The Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron, and so a man with another man. It says carrying a load together is better than one carrying that load. Jesus is a prime example of having friends. He had friends. He developed friendships while he was here. And so in our lives, God has put friends in our life. It's a blessing for us to have friendships. So I would like to introduce to you my friend Tamara Cunningham. She is a wonderful, beautiful, you will see the light just shining from her face when you see her. Her smile is just absolutely adorable and cute and genuine and all the nice things. And so here she is. She's wife, mother, best friend, sister, daughter, all of the above, and she loves the Lord with everything.
Hallelujah.
We'd like to meet her today. I introduce you over to Tamara Cunningham. Yay!
Kimla! Wonderful to see you on here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited about this conversation we're about to have today. I have watched you, over the years. I've known you. We've met at CLBC, whoop, whoop. And friendship developed. We were on a worship team together. We've seen you grow, become a minister, become all these things that God is pouring into your life. And I'm so excited about it. I've watched how you've lived your life and how you've kept your friendships and formed new friendships. And it's admirable because, life gets on and we become busy with life. And a lot of us lose our friends along the way. We lose friendships and we don't think about the later years that's coming, that you're going to need those friends. Because I've watched my mom and friends of my friends' moms, all those people around me, and I see where they don't have friends anymore. It's like their friends disappeared. And I thought about that for my own life and wonder, I don't want that to happen to me. It's something that I'm generally concerned about. So I'm like, how can I need to be intentional about my friendships and sure, keeping them around for the long haul. You're going to lose friends when they get older, sure, due to death or to Alzheimer's or dementia and all of those things. How can we keep making new friends along the way? And also the other generation, you have friendships behind those, as well as. So it's just like, it's so much on my mind about friendships. And so I have seen, and I want to learn some things. I want to learn how you've kept these friendships with all the things that you do, because you are very busy.
I am very busy in a good and productive way, though, I think.
Absolutely, I know. But still, people be like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time. Like, can we have a chat? Oh, I'm so busy. And I'm just like, okay, but you're going to want these friends later on.
Sure,
All right.
sure.
So what are friends to you?
Well, Kimla, it's really an honor to be talking to you about this. You are a close friend of mine, and I appreciate our relationship, our friendship, and the way in which it was started. So I think first and foremost, thinking about Christian Love Baptist Church and the beginning or the genesis of friendship, the beginning of friendship in that way, and the foundation of really establishing friends in the church, really as an important way of kind of building community. And I remember joining the praise and worship team. I remember your kindness. I remember how open and loving you were, and you're showing the love of Christ, and being an embodiment of the love of Christ. The Bible says, you have to show yourself friendly. And you were one of those people who, when I joined Christian Love, you had been there for quite some time. And I remember I was coming in new. And you showed yourself friendly, among others. There were others as well, but I remember just forming this natural bond with you, and the beauty of who you are really shined bright in Christ. And I believe in that foundation. I believe in, and not that you have to find yourself your friends in church, but I do believe that in order for you to have friends, that you have to show yourself friendly, and then that means that there's some intentionality around really checking in on your friends or those who you love, and really connecting with them. And it doesn't have to be an everyday thing. So I'm just thinking about how our journeys might have even diverted, once, things developed, you moved, you had a baby, you got married, and I have children, I'm married, like all of these things that happen in our lives, where we may not be able to talk every day, but we can pick up the phone every 3 or 4 months, and it's like we never missed a beat.
Exactly.
It's almost like being able to, I'm sure that if we tried to sing a song together, that we would be able to harmonize right now, my alto to your soprano. And it would be that chemistry, and it would be that harmony. So I think that intentionality is important, but I think also managing expectations around friendships. So your expectation is not that I call you every day, and it's not reasonable. And I think we have to give each other grace in that. Okay. Sometimes I feel there are people who rely on us so much as friends, and they have the maybe an unreasonable expectation. I want to choose my words carefully.
Correct.
But to me, it is an unreasonable expectation that we're going to talk every day, and that the friendship is going to be the same that it was 15 years ago, Kimla, when we met 15 years ago. It has evolved since then.
So much.
And that's okay. Your situation evolves, my situation, life circumstances evolve. Exactly. And I think we have to give each other grace in that, and know the intentions of the heart. Correct. So I know deep down in your heart how you feel about me, how you feel about our friendship. And I know that if you needed me, that you could call me at a drop of a dime, and I would be there to support and to help you in any way that I can, and vice versa. Same here. And I think maybe being just in tune with that intention, I think is important. You know that I have good intentions related to you, and vice versa. And sometimes I think friendships falter because there are unreasonable expectations related.
That is so true. I never thought about that part, because there's some friends that they would say, but you haven't called me, or you didn't talk to me for a long time. But I love those friendships, because I've had friends from way small. We hadn't seen each other since high school. And I saw her last year, and her parents were like, it's like y'all never left each other. It was just like you picked up where you left off. And I love that, because there was no animosity. There was no upset. I'm with you. I'm not mad at you for not calling out to me every day or every year or something. If I find your friend, oh, I see you on the street, like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. That doesn't mean I haven't forgotten what we shared. The bond was still there, and the bond never changed. You know, I've had these conversations with some friends of mine, and I was asking them about it, and it's so sad because I have people that would say to me, I don't have anyone like that. I don't have any friends, but do I need friends? Do I need friends to really have a balance in my life? And I'm taken back because I'm like, yeah, because the Bible says two people bringing the thing together, it's lighter. One sharpens the other. Like, you need a friend when you go through those difficult times. You need a friend. And my heart broke, but it comes from a place where, you know, they're like, well, my parents always said friends were not good to have. And you see how that has shaped somebody's life over time, and you're like, wow. So you have no one that you could be vulnerable with outside of your marital relationship, or maybe siblings. There's no vulnerability. They don't know how to be vulnerable. They can listen to other people's as friends, but I don't know who my friend is. And I am trying to help them to see that you have to be vulnerable. People are not out. Everybody's not out. The world is not built with people that's just out to hurt you. There are people that genuinely wants to love on you. That wants to treat you great. That wants to be kind and loving towards you. Because even if there's bad in everyone, but you can be friends with someone that you can say, okay, you're not gonna hear my thing and go talk about it, or hear my thing, put me down about it.
I think that trust is important in this regard. And as you were talking, Kimla, I was thinking of trauma, you know, in historical kind of experiences that, you know, people might have had in the past. That, you know, their trauma informs how they move forward in life with relationships. And so if they've been hurt in the past, then, you know, it might be that you know, they're not comfortable, you know, having many girlfriends, or, you know, this thing about how, you know, women can be catty and they can be jealous and they can, you know, all of these things. And, you know, maybe that's why sometimes, especially growing up in a I don't know about you, in a Caribbean household, it's like your family, those are your friends. You don't need a whole lot of friends, right? And that's
they would say that, but I'm like,
yes. They always say that, but I mean, it depends on the friendship. Right?
Exactly.
Now, to be honest, growing up though, I mean, I had so many cousins because my mom had 8 or 9 brothers and sisters. And so I have tons of cousins, and my cousins, my female cousins, were my first best friends. And that's how I learned friendship.
Yes.
The ability to be able to establish friendships now, I can trace back to the friendships that I had with my cousins who were like my sisters. And I didn't have any sisters. I just had a brother. And so that, I think, the formation of those cousin relationships and those sister relationships and those friendships really helped me to figure out how to kind of navigate friendships in, you know, childhood and high school and college, right? It gave me kind of the formula to be able to do that in a positive way. But I got the same thing you got. Like, my mom was like, you don't need all these friends, you just need your family. And the truth is, and you know, we have to be able to socialize, and we have to be able to, and going back to Bible, I mean, you already said iron sharpens iron, but how about this? When we fall on bad times, like, one can chase 1,000 and two can put 10,000 to flight. And let's not, you know, so we get into the demonic realm where we're trying to, you know, fight off the weapons of the enemy. We need each other. Okay. Family, yes, but we also need, you know, I need you and you need me. We know that song, right?
Yes.
We're all part of God's family. But it's not always easy, because sometimes folks are not comfortable establishing those relationships because they're not comfortable trusting other women. And I can understand that piece. And, you know, you just try to help guide people out of that space.
Absolutely. Try to let them see that there are still people that are genuine in the world. And I'm not saying it has to be a female.
It doesn't have to be.
Some of our best friends are males, right? True. And you can count on them. That's
And
right.
his friends are some of my best friends, his male
Exactly.
friends. You know, I have a
Exactly.
list of male friends who love him, who love us, who are now like my closest friends. So
Correct.
yes, that's very true.
Yes, you know, it's just I just don't I don't I'm saddened for my friends because I'm like we met and the connection was great, and I don't want you to think that all friendships are going to be bad for you. And it's not like everyone don't have a bad experience. It's just because the Caribbean they say friends are not good. And maybe in the US they do say that too. I don't know, right? But my mom would say, you were born alone. Okay.
This is that old school baby boomer generation. We want to help y'all, okay? Because y'all got one friend right now. Y'all got one friend. You growing old with one, and that's not a problem, but show yourself friendly.
Yes, absolutely.
We were born alone, but we don't want to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone.
Exactly. That's what the Lord said, you know. So, you know, the tendency, you know, because the thing is that also friendships, I'm reading on the Mayo Clinic, they say friendships, how it benefits your health.
Yeah.
It benefits your health that you have people in it. It makes you happier. It makes you more fulfilled. You advance through life at a greater pace when you have great friendships. It's not just, oh, I need a friend because I want someone to talk to. You know, those are the people that they can say, yo, you are inspiring. You are remarkable. You can do it. You know, they're not going to hold you back they're going to push you towards your goal. In friendships, there has to be a goal as well. Like you have a goal for your friends. Like you want to see the best for your friends. You want to see the best for you. You're going to cheer each other's accomplishments. It's different than your husband cheering you. It's different from your mother, your father. Okay, you know when you're young and say, oh, you're pretty. You're my mother.
Right. You're supposed to think that.
But you met a girl in the street and she's like, yo, you're the bomb. You say, okay, you're for to feel yourself, right? Because
there is an added benefit and an added value that I can bring to you and you can bring to me that perhaps our husbands cannot. And I think that it's important to acknowledge that everybody plays a different role in our lives, and we need friends. We need friendship. Even Jesus needed a friend.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm thinking about when he was in the Gethsemane and just wanted prayer, right? And he just wanted people to just sit and pray a while. That's it. And so even he needed a friend. And so if we use that as an example, the greatest example for me, right, of all time, and I think that is a model for the friendships that we should be looking for and the friends that we should also be.
To others. Yes, like, you know, when John speaks about Jesus, he's like the one he loved. I'm like always like this one.
Yes, that and Lazarus, the one he loved.
The one he loves.
And that's the thing. So you know, I've been looking throughout the Bible about how many, you know, what I love is Jesus's divinity and his humanity. So that as he was going through the New Testament and blessing and healing and, you know, resurrecting and all these things, it often is accompanied by he loved. He loved, and which means he had relationship with, which means he had friendships. You know, so we can deduct that's what Jesus had with these friendships with people.
Like I'm gonna be like John. I'm gonna be like the one he loves.
Yes,
right?
I'm be the one he loves.
I love that.
Yes.
So, you know, like my friends must be like, okay, Kimla, I'm the one she loves, right?
Yeah.
They should all feel like I'm the one she loves, right? The most. And bring that, like, okay, I could call on you. Like my friendships, I have friends and each of them represents something else in my life, right? I can say, okay, you are the one that I can call and I can dash all my stuff on. You're the one that I could call to pray with, because I know when you go before God, like it's gonna be something else, you know, like we gonna storm hell and we gonna make it to heaven, you know. And I know each of my friends' roles, right? And is that the thing? Like you every friend have, even with a different role in your life. So it's not just, okay, I have a friend and they mean nothing to me, or I have a friend and all they want is fun. They don't want a friend that's just taking, and never
Sure.
giving back.
Right, right.
You have to give back something. You want to be a good friend, you have to also be a giver.
So
Always
that
taker.
part is so important. I mean, I think the reciprocity here is important. So there are friends who just take all the time. And that's not a friendship. That is a
Absolutely not.
one-way, person who is an opportunist.
Yes.
Friendship should be reciprocal. It
Yes.
should be an opportunity to give even more than you take, actually. So my love language is service, acts of service. And I love to love people through service. And that's how I love to be loved. So I always tell Khalil, it doesn't matter if you give me a diamond ring. I would love you more if you did the laundry or took the garbage out, or help me bring the bags in. That's just me. That's just the way I loved, in the way that I like to love.
Show others, yes.
Then to love people in their love language, in the way that they need to be loved.
Absolutely.
It's like, so yeah, that piece is important.
With all of those things that comes into play, do you see your friendship as balancing your life with this life that you have, because you know all the aspects of life? Do you believe that friendships bring balance to that?
So as you know, Kimla, I work a lot and I work all over, the world.
World traveler.
And I need my friends to balance me and to remind me to take good care, self-care. And so for me, that balancing equals self-care. Without them, I wouldn't know how to take good care of me, because I'm always at the service of others.
Exactly.
Yeah. So certainly they help with that part for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good.
What about you? What do you think about that?
I am an extrovert, and I've learned about I'm reading a book called Raising My Spirited Child.
Ooh, okay.
Meaning you're more of everything, and I believe that I'm one of those people. We're just extra. That would be, we're extra.
Yeah.
And so out of that, remember, extrovert is like, you have to, in order for you to continue to thrive and to live and to get energy, I have to have people around me.
Sure.
So my friends, I need that energy from there's a conversation and I'm fine. I may be feeling down, not knowing why, but I've been depleted and I just need a pickup. And I talk to a friend, and that friend uplifts me. It brings energy into my life. It brings something else that I don't get from anybody else.
Yes.
Right? Like right now,
the right friendships.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I thank God I have my group of people that I know I can go to.
Sure.
I am blessed for that, and I'm so grateful that I have that. Like I haven't seen them in a while, and Mark was like, "You need to go see them," because I was like, "No," because they're not living here, so they're everywhere, right? And they're gonna be meeting up, and I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna go because I really don't want to spend the money." And he's like, "No, you're gonna go." Right? And I'm so grateful for that. Like you're gonna go see your friends. Like Beautiful. I know you need to see your friends, so even though they're far away, I try to do a thing with them. Like every once in a while, we all meet up on like a Zoom and we all chat, right? I'll say, we have coffee in the morning on Saturday or wine at night on a Friday. I love it. So it's to try to get everybody together. I try to do all the things. Like, okay, we have to meet at some point because I need the energy. I need to know that I could talk to you. I need to know what's going on in your life. Like, I need to know what's happening with everybody, right? So if I have to pray with you, I will pray with you. If I have to cry with you, I will cry with you. I want to be that friend. I want to encourage you. I want you to go to a better place in your life.
You are that friend. You are that friend.
The things that I do, my friends will like give me tears in my eyes. Like, you actually buy me this, and they're like, you don't even know what you have done for me. That's nothing, because you don't know how much you taught us. I want to give everything that God has put in me to share to the world. And if if y'all don't have any friends, I'm your friend.
Love that. That my ministry, I think Kimla, is a ministry of love. This is why I love Jesus so much and seeing him in the New Testament. But my ministry is, to love the hell out of people.
Yes.
And to leave people better than I found them. Have I always been successful in that? No. I'm human, and I've hurt people, I'm sure. I've hurt friends, I'm sure, some unintentionally, I'm sure that I've fallen short. But every day I get up with that intention to be the best that I can be and to bless people and to leave them better than I found them. And I love how you, in this kind of virtual space, no matter where your friends are or what they're, deeply involved in, or, the timing that you're finding, and you're being intentional about finding space and sharing space with them, even virtually, to bring everyone together. And sometimes you need that person who's going to do that. Not everyone has that skill. I have friends, they can't plan anything. But that doesn't mean they don't want to be involved,
yes.
Right? So we have to capitalize on those who know how to do the planning in order to make it happen. I'm the planner. I know that. I know I can connect.
You're great at organizing.
I connect all the dots. I know how to get people on. I know who's going to have the technical issues. So if that's your role in the friendship, assume your role and don't expect that that's going to be Kimla's role or somebody else and get mad at them for not doing it. That's not their strength.
That's not their strength.
You have to embrace people and meet them at the point where they are in the friendship.
That is so true. That's so true, because a lot of times we'll have friends and we're in a group, and then you say, oh, you never try to come together. Why am I the only one trying to put everybody together? And, stuff like that. And, my friends will be like, thank God that you are who you are, because you are blessed with this stuff. Like, Kimla, they all want it. Kimla, you plan it. And I'm just like, I'm always I'm always the planner.
Too, Kimla. That's okay. So I own that. Right? That's my responsibility in the friendship. I own the planning. I just want you all to show up. And that leads me to a very important point: showing up for people. So listen, and I have friends like this who won't show up for other people, but when it's their birthday and their baby shower and their stuff, they want people to show up for them. But you have to show up for other people.
Absolutely.
You're expecting people to be there for you and show up for your stuff, and you're not showing up for anyone else.
Exactly. That's a great point. You have to show up for others.
You show up for others.
Show up for you all the time.
It's a huge issue when people expect that others will show up for them and they don't show up for others. And I mean, at least I feel that way. And so sometimes, when I have, celebrations or things at my house, and, a lot of people are going to come, Kimla, because I show up for people. I do.
Good. Yes,
that's what I do. I show up for people. And so sometimes it's like, oh, you don't have to go above and beyond. You don't have to do all that. Yes, I do, because people care about, they want to see you. They want to know that you care. Your presence means the world. You don't even know what your presence can mean.
That is it too. People don't understand that your presence matters to me. What it's going to do for my life. What it's going to do for the space that I'm in. Because I've invited you into this space right here for a reason.
Yes.
Not because I want a lot of people at my party.
Yes. No, you in particular, you.
Exactly.
You.
Exactly. Yeah. And, people, I want to let people know that. Know that you should show up for others. You're going to want to be a friend to others, so they could be a friend to you as well. Yeah. It doesn't go one way. Friendships are not supposed to be only one direction.
Yes.
That don't work.
Yes.
Just like you're going to God, he coming to you. Say, you come to me, I'm coming. Like, we got to come, we gonna meet together. If I'm always the one going across the border and you're never coming across the border, it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work at all. So people have to recognize that you have to know where people are at. Mm-hmm. in their friendships, know who plays the role that they play and let them do that role. You have to be intentional about creating space for friendships to happen and to keep going and to evolve. And, just to find something that you particularly like together. Sometimes that's what helps the friendships to grow. What is it you like to do together? And each person have their space in your life.
And serves a different purpose. So, there might be friends who are not comfortable having larger circles.
Yes.
Who wonder, well, if you have such a large friend circle, then why do you need me? But you serve a very beautifully unique positioning in my life that, so you're different than Deb is different than Kiki is different than Koya is different than Suya, right? Like all of these friends that I have,
Right.
everyone serves a different purpose.
Absolutely.
And
none less
no less important. But those who don't have many friends might think of it that way. They may think, well, why do you have so many friends? Why, like what's special, what's unique, what's important about my positioning? And I think it's important to establish that everyone has a unique gift that they bring to the friendship.
That's just life. Like God has created us all uniquely. We all bring something different to the world. We are all, he didn't create us the same. He liked, as my pastor preaches, may say, God like you. Yeah. Other people may not like it, but God likes you, not just love you. He likes you because he created you a certain way, and you're like, people don't like it. That's too bad for those people. God like you. So God
likes me. I don't care what nobody. We talked about him. The most important thing is that he likes you.
He likes you. So it's okay to be who you are. A lot of people don't know how to be who they are. Yeah. They have they're always masked. They don't want to show who they really are because of, again, as you say, trust. They may not trust the situation. But my question is about this trust, because how much can you give to someone to say, for them to get to trust you? Because there are people that are in your life that you're actually pushing away, that genuinely wants to be your friend without malice or maliciousness. There has to be a point where you have to let your guard down in order to have a friend, right? What are ways that you could know that friend, that person is truly a friend? I mean, what do the person have to do to prove to
Kimla? I think it's time. Building relationship takes time. I think, I always preface my conversations with my friends, like, what we share is between you, me, and God. And you can go back to day one. Anything that, Kimla, you've ever shared with me that's been in confidence, you haven't heard it again in Absolutely. 15 years, right? Yeah. So, but that's the track record that you can have with friends. You want to make sure that, what you're sharing, what I'm sharing with you and what you're sharing with me, that everybody on the street is not going to know my business. That's establishing trust. And that's an important piece of that trust, because then that goes back to the vulnerability that you spoke about, and being able to be vulnerable and open yourself up to friendships. And a lot of people are not comfortable doing that because they've been traumatized in the past, or they've been hurt in the past. So that's completely understandable, but you have to show yourself trustworthy.
And I that's the aim. You want to show yourself trustworthy to others, because I want them to know that other people can love on you.
I know.
Other people want to be there for you. You want to have. Oh my God!
It takes time, Kimla. It
does. Like how, absolutely, it does.
I had this conversation with Khalil the other day, my husband, and he's like, "How come you didn't tell me such and such? She just told me." I said, "Because it's not my place to tell her stuff." Exactly. He's like, "But I'm your husband." I said, "But it doesn't matter. I don't have to tell you Kimla stuff. If Kimla wants to share with you, then Kimla can share with you what's going on." Absolutely. But I'm not gonna, pillow talk, Kimla stuff with you.
Absolutely not. Yes.
So he felt very differently about that. But I mean, to me, that's still a breach of confidence, because it's still your private information and your private sharing, your private stories, your private life. Yeah. And it's, if you wanted me to share it with Khalil, you'd be like, you can feel free to, but otherwise it's not for him to know. So that's how I feel about that.
Okay. So we will take time, people, and let people prove that trust to you. Let people prove that they're trustworthy. If you have issues with trusting other people in your life, it's okay to take the time, but let the people know that you do want friendship.
Absolutely.
So that they can be patient with you when you are not being friendly. Right? Because then people won't be so like, okay, she don't want any friends. She don't want to be friends with me, so I'm going to walk away. right? And I can't, so persons are not gonna just want to be always coming at you, and you are never reciprocate, like accepting the friend, to accept the friendship, accept the love, accept the kindness. There has to be something that let them know that, okay, she do want to be my friend, or he wants to be my friend, you know. So I want a little bit of that to happen, because yes, you can, it has to be trust, but the person has to know that you want to trust me.
Sure.
Right?
I agree. Yeah.
It's like sure. It's like when a guy come to talk to you, and if you're not giving off the vibe like you want to talk to him, he may try 3 times.
You the cold shoulder, I'm not interested, all of that.
Yeah. He just gonna be like, okay, you're not interested. I'm gonna just walk away, right? There's just one person they won't go stop, but most of them will.
Yes, Kimla, you're right. I mean, that's a perfect analogy. It's like you have to be open, you have to be approachable, you have to communicate that you're open to relationship and you're open to friendship. And so
you know, I am grateful for your friendship. I mean, we've seen some things, we've gone through some stuff, and I'm so grateful that you always
Kimla, to say the least.
Oh my gosh. So we have you know, we have known what it is to trust each other and to love on each other and to be there as friends. And you know, you can see the laughter between us, you can see the genuine friendship between us. And I really hope that you've gotten something out of this conversation about how friendships balance you and make you become more of who God has designed for you to be in life and in the world, you know, because he has created us to not to be alone. He has created us to be with people, and those friendships, they do matter, and they do bring to your life, and they do make your life better. You see this laughter, it will bring down your blood pressure.
Yes. Amen to that. Amen.
These conversations, they open up your mind, they make you think more, they make you more understanding and more empathetic to other people. That's, you know, like she has showed me, like, okay, you know, but they have to trust other people, because I was just like, I don't get it. So now I understand it. Give them time to trust you, you know. So all of that, you have conversation with other people, you get to understand a different realm of situations that you never knew before, or you couldn't see, but somebody has shown it to you. So friendships, they matter. I mean, relationships matter. All of the relationships matter.
Sorry, she's been wanting to. My friend, my dog Saddler, has been wanting to get into this conversation. She nearly pulled down the entire laptop just now.
Hello. You know, so yes, see, man's best friend.
Yeah. Right. But you're right, Kimla. I think you're summarizing so well that we all need friendships. So I think you're summarizing so well that we do need people and we need friendships, and we need to be able to show ourselves friendly, and it does add value to who we are as people.
Correct.
Opening up our minds and being more a more compassionate, empathetic people. And I think that's the most important part. So
absolutely. So Tamara, it was great to see you, even though
the dog.
Okay. That is quite all right. I am so grateful for having you today. You've uplifted me even more. This big smile on my face, it will be here for a minute. I love to see your smile. It uplifts my heart always, in a picture, in whatever. I am really, like, I'll tell people about this girl, like Tamara, like she just have this light, and I absolutely love it. So as you say, your ministry is loving on others, and that shows 100%. And so we will catch up. I am so excited for this, and we will talk soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye, Kimla.
Bye, hon. Love you. Bye.